That was so random.
Yeah. Just thought I'd let you know. Just added to my list of issues, you know?
Oh, God.
Well, here we are.
Man, that's what a start. What a start.
All right, so. Oh my goodness. So it's time for a DC discussion. Kevin Golden says, "What a mustache!" So we already got that going on.
You're welcome, Kevin.
That was pure Stevens Photoshop skills there. So here's how I would like to start this, because I think there's obvious like Marvel comparisons that are going to be made. So the question is there anyone here, just putting this out there, who feels like the Marvel movies... Let me rephrase. Is there anyone here who would disagree with the following statement? As a whole, Marvel's movies have been more consistent than DC's in tone and quality. That's not saying it's consistently high quality, just more consistent. Is there anyone here who disagrees with that statement? Okay, I just wanted to start. Cool, because all right, so that's what I have.
Because I broke it down. I was like, we've got 9 movies so far, with Snyder Cut, I guess, being the 10th. If you were to break that down, kind of like where Marvel was at, that is Captain America: Winter Soldier would be the, I guess, Wonder Woman 1984 of like that, and it kind of works out. Justice League would be like the Avengers 1, and then it kind of works out that way.
What's weird with me is I don't necessarily consider, and I know it is, I don't consider anything past Zack Snyder's Justice League to be like the same DCEU. You know what I mean? There's like, sure. there's the Snyderverse, which I know people want to now restore the Snyderverse, and then there's the DC movies, and I know they are connected. I know they cross over, but it's kind of like I kind of don't consider Hulk a MCU movie, because it was Universal's, and just because they slapped Tony Stank at the end, it didn't do it. It's not enough for me. And I know they brought in Ross and everything, right. But it's like it's weird stuff like that. Like Marvel has a missing piece too.
After Justice League, a lot of those movies really don't connect to that like main storyline at all. You've got Shazam, which is its own thing, Birds of Prey, which is really its own thing, and then Wonder Woman 1984, which is a prequel. So yeah, it doesn't really.
So original Wonder Woman came out before Justice League, is that right?
Yeah, it came out right, but that was the movie before it. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, before Justice League, yeah, Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, and then Justice League.
So what came after Justice League again? Because I don't know if I've seen any of those.
You've seen Aquaman.
I did see Aquaman. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and then it was Shazam, Birds of Prey, and Wonder Woman 1984.
Okay, yeah. So Aquaman's the only one post Justice League that I've seen. Speaking of Justice League, that's why we're all here, right? We got the Snyder Cut Snyder Cut releasing on what, Friday or Thursday night?
Thursday. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're talking about that. Yeah, I'm assuming it's Thursday at 3 a.m. like most things on streaming networks or platforms do.
So?
But yeah. No, I would talk about the overall DC. One thing I'm really interested in, because there's a lot of things that I've seen in the onslaught of trailers, which everything does now. I'm not just pointing the finger at this. There's
Zack Snyder loved the trailer though.
Yeah, yes, trailer for the teaser for the trailer for the trailer. 7 more trailers. There's a lot in those trailers that I assumed was Whedon, which makes me excited. Because there's some like happy moments. Because I just assumed every happy moment from the original cut was all Whedon.
Do we think we're going to see that family again? Do you think that family was anything Zack Snyder?
No.
I don't think we'll see
the bug repellent?
No. Yeah.
She's gonna get him, man.
That's also so Whedon of like, I feel like it has one of those shots, and there was one in Avengers too of like, the camera's not on them, it's on like a mirror, and then like you see them in the mirror. It's got like a weird shot of like, this is 100% Joss Whedon. Like
and there's also a shot that has kind of like, it's very like Wonder Woman booty-y, and I'm like, smell Whedon.
Or Flash falling on her chest.
That's it. Yeah. That's exactly what made it up. that was Whedon for sure.
Pure Whedon.
It was awful. Yeah.
Yeah, something's going back now that knowing what you know. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that exact thing happened in Avengers, right?
Well, with the Avengers, it was more of just shots of
in Ultron when they dove over the bar.
Yes, it did happen. That exact thing did happen, and she got kidnapped for no reason.
I was gonna say, and she's definitely being tortured and like exposing herself for no reason. Yeah,
she got kidnapped for no reason, and then in the first movie, they have these shots of her where it's just like from her calves up, while she's talking to Loki. And I'm like, what am I supposed to be looking at here? Because I'm trying to look at Loki, but half the screen is somebody's butt. So no, he's got some flaws there for sure. I don't think he knows how to write women, but that's it's not for me to say.
It's kind of weird from the guy who made Buffy.
Well, but I don't know.
I know. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that's a little weird.
Different show.
Yeah.
Anyway, Damon, you're really amped about Snyder Cut, right?
Who? I am.
Yeah, the beginning of your sentence got cut off, Josh.
These guys are real amped about Snyder Cut. So
super ridiculously amped. So I guess I'll go ahead and preface. I mean, I can't say your initial question was, has Marvel been more consistent? And you absolutely have to give them. They've been one of the most, successful movies in history and consistently good. So you got to give them that credit. But I definitely have liked most of what the DCEU has done up to this point, or at least enjoyed it to an extent. I can find little pieces of them, that I like a lot. Even Justice League, the first one.
Sure.
Okay. I would probably give that like a 5 or 6. But
that's because we had that conversation the other day about how you rated them, and I feel like I agree so almost perfectly with every way you rated your movies.
And it's like, I can't rate them highly, but I don't walk away. Like this one, like Batman vs Superman. Like it's a broken movie. Like you can't, literally structurally, it's a broken movie. But it also has the best Batman action scene I've ever seen in film, the warehouse scene. So for me, all of a sudden, so the bar is way down here, and then the bar goes tick, 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 tick. So I'm like, when it's over, I'm like, okay, that was pretty bad, but I've watched that movie several times just for that scene.
And I think it's choreographed awesome. I think the fight is great. My problem is a lot of that movie loses me when he just starts smashing their heads in. I immediately just disconnect, and I just, you know what I mean? I acknowledge that I really like the knife part where he's just, and he's just, the knives are just sparking off of him. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad he's generally knife proof unless they just straight go for him. But
especially for me, that scene, and I love it. It starts with Dark Knight Returns imagery of him up on the crane with the gun. Wait, is it that one? Maybe it's not that one, but I see what they're going for. You're copying or, paying homage to that. And I feel I think me and Colton talked this before, you could have that same scene, especially with him in the jet, just shooting people. You could do the same thing from Dark Knight Returns of him talking about how they're rubber bullets and how they're going to hurt, they're going to live, but they're going to feel it tomorrow, and they're going to remember, and they're going to know. Because that's kind of my thing about Batman is he shouldn't not only not kill, but so with reckless abandon as he does in that movie.
Callously.
Yeah,
callously is a very good word for it.
Yeah,
and if you want to do Dark Knight Returns and you want to go in there, first of all, I think you need to not make him look 40. I think he needs to look 60 or 70, because this Batman for me, and then maybe there's a long game plan. This Batman did not earn that for me, because it's questionable whether or not he's murdered in Dark Knight Returns or whatever. But this is a Batman who's been out of it for a while, completely kind of changed character through aging from not being Batman for a long time and come back in. It's different than just being oh, hey, by the way, Batman's in this universe and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And yeah.
And it was so unnecessary. Of all the changes, I get, Snyder wants to go darker and all that, but he could have, like you said, done all of that without death.
Yeah, exactly. And again, and I, because I don't necessarily have a problem with Superman killing at the end of Man of Steel. That's one thing. It's just how carelessly he and with no regard is just okay with killing henchmen. That's my only thing.
And so with Batman, most of his villains are human beings. If he's able to 1v1 Superman, how are any of those guys alive? How's Mr. Freeze living? Why wouldn't he just cap him and go about his day?
Especially Joker. If Joker, killed his Robin, how is that guy still?
We haven't seen Batman and Joker interact at all, though, and I guess that's one of the things that people are going to get to see, isn't it?
If he came across one of those villains during BVS time, they'd be dead in an instant, probably.
We've seen that. We've seen that Batman interact with Joker in Suicide Squad.
He jumped on the car.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which also, that scene of when we'll talk about this was a really good scene too. That felt like Batman, that whole thing, and especially him jumping in to save Harley. That was one of my favorite.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. That was the best Batman scene out of this whole thing so far.
The beginning of Suicide Squad is not bad. If you take all those little vignettes. I
was gonna say they use him well in that movie, even with Deadshot. That they use him very well in that movie as far as those parts go, and I was happy about that as far as seeing him, because we mean Colton talked this before. I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I like the suit. I mean, the suit is literally that's literally my phone background right now is Ben in that suit. One of the pictures that Zach put up recently. I love that Batmobile. That's probably my favorite Batmobile. I have a Lego Batmobile of that right over here. You said, there are things about that movie that I do like. It's just kind of the characterization and the Zack Snyder-ness, I think, is probably the parts I don't like.
Austin says Austin said Colt wants Batman to be Alfred. No, because Alfred does use guns, and I'm okay with it, because sometimes he's a war vet and he'll pop out with a shotgun and we'll get things done.
Yeah, I love with Jeff Johns, what was the one where Jeff Johns had him? Was it I forget what that one was.
It's a Earth one or
Earth one. Yeah, whatever it is. I love the MI6 Alfred, who's just no, we're not playing.
And they're going that way with most things. I like that characterization of Alfred as he's an ex military person, and Bird, I think why he's able to just stitch up Batman real good. That's cool.
So it seems fair to say, Damon. Oh, sorry, Damon. You said that you there's enough in those movies that you like that they don't ruin the movie for you, right?
I can. This is coming from a guy that I saw episode 1 5 times just for the Darth Maul scene. I just the whole movie. I literally just like the whole movie.
There's definitely a click right there when you say that. I understand what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah, and there's some Zaya, she made me think of something when Snyderisms, right? There's certain things that Snyder does. He will sacrifice clearly story, character, and everything for the cool scene. And there's one scene I was joking with my friend about that encapsulates that. You remember Man of Steel when he's fighting Zod in the middle of the city, right? And Zod throws the fuel truck at him, and he just jumps over it and lands, and it explodes in the building behind him. Who knows how many people?
Right.
He just had to be cool and just jump over it, do the cool slow-mo, and land and not care.
Right.
And I'm that's something Superman would never do.
No,
right.
He wouldn't.
To the point where I forgot about this in Batman vs Superman, they make it very clear that when they're fighting Doomsday, that part of the city is abandoned. Multiple times they mentioned
they went out of their way. They're guys, no one's around. It's after 5 p.m. It's okay. It's okay.
Yes, multiple times they mentioned that there are no people in those buildings.
So I feel like, Steven, I personally, I'm with you, where the Snyderism, I'm not a huge fan of it. Damon, I feel like you kind of like the Snyderism. Yeah?
I'm a Snyder fan. Don't get me wrong. I recognize his foibles as a creator. He's a visual 100%. Director. He's a master to me of action scenes. He is not good at story. He shouldn't be allowed to write his own stuff. He shouldn't be allowed to modify stuff.
I would agree. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. He did. Didn't Chris Trejo wrote most of them, didn't he?
Yeah, Terrio.
Terrio, yeah. So maybe my problem is with him, not with Zack Snyder, because I do agree that Like,
maybe they collaborate too much.
Yeah, but I agree. Like visually, like the things he does look good. I mean, the movies look great. I like what they're doing, or like, you know, at least visually. It's just the story of it is the, you know, the main problem I have.
I'll definitely also admit, like, compared to like a big complaint about Marvel films in general, and this has to do with how I kind of started with the consistency thing, is that like certainly Snyder's style has more of a style to it than probably anything that Marvel has done, because their movies are very like palatable and very like user friendly, very accessible, whereas Snyder, like, there's more of a style, there's more of a personality about the way the guy cuts a movie, whether you like it or not. I think there definitely is. Yeah,
you can watch that for 30 seconds and be like, that's Zack Snyder.
Yeah, and there's the characterizations and stuff like that, and I think that's where I have a problem, and I feel like that's where a lot of you have a problem, but I'm not sure about which way am I pointing. So Broku, how are you feeling about general DCEUs? Because
I've actually, this is the most unpopular take, I've enjoyed, I think, Man of Steel, like the early DCEU stuff, more than the newer stuff, because I feel like they don't necessarily know what they want to do with the newer stuff, or at least Zach had his vision and wanted to do it. Like, I recently just rewatched Man of Steel and BVS, and while the third act of those movies are like a huge mess, like there's so much noise happening on screen, and while some of the plot points and characters are like way different than what they've been in the comics, like I've actually, like, my biggest problem with Man of Steel and BVS when it comes to Superman is the chemistry between Henry and Amy, like the Superman Lois. I did not buy them as well, and that's like such an integral part, like Superman. But I will say it was like two scenes that, like, it's not funny but made me laugh, when Metropolis was getting destroyed and you had the world builder engine,
the world engine,
the world destroyer engine.
Yeah,
and when it just started in back in Metropolis, and you just see, like, when it starts doing the graph thing, you just see all the people. You actually like see all the people.
You do.
And there's a scene where Zod and Superman are fighting through like an unfinished skyscraper, and it was like, for a quick second, as one of those signs, like it was like 100 so many days without an accident, and then when they hit it, it went down to 0. I was just like, oh, that's so funny.
Because those people are dead.
Yeah, like so many people just died, and you make that joke.
A little bit of backstory also, just as far as myself, Steven, Brody, like our history of watching the movie. Josh, we were there the second night. Technically the first night, it's weird. But also I want to say that we have 9 people watching, y'all. So I got to shoo some of these people out of here. We'll let you guys know I'm not going to have a meltdown. So if that's what you're here for, no.
It's not going to happen.
I have never been more excited for a movie than I was Batman v Superman.
2015, 2016 was like, we were hyped for this.
Dude, movie. I bought the car. I paid for a vehicle. I got the BVS edition. Renegade.
He had the
I'm not kidding, right? Steven and I went, and Brody, I don't know if you saw the trailer, but did you go to the movie theater?
Yeah, we saw the preview screening or whatever.
We saw which got us.
Oh, but you didn't see the trailer with us, right?
We got you a ticket.
We got you a ticket to the movie. Right?
Oh, I saw the trailer because you had to go see the sneak peek thing to get the.
We got you one.
I thought we
stuck one.
Either way, this is how excited we were to see that movie. Is that we drove all the way to Hampton to watch the premiere of the trailer.
Yep.
Yes, for Batman vs Superman. Yeah, they did a special like a Fathom event or whatever. It was free, but we went and like literally Zack Snyder talked for like 5 minutes about the movie and everything like that. Then showed the trailer. Then he was like, you know what? Roll it again, and then
that's when they gave out the free thing, right? So you can go see it like a week early, right? That's the day they did that, right?
Yeah. Then at the end they're like, yeah, and also you're going to see it a day early. So then, come 2016, we actually saw the movie a day early for free. So we were to say excited is I feel like downplaying it. Like literally, me and Colton would play the trailer, like the first 2 trailers, at work constantly, to the point where I remember Hannah like one time like I played it was like. I think pretty close to just, like we were excited for that movie.
Comment section, that car actually, that car blew up. So
yeah, it's true. That car did not last.
That car had a lot of, and so quickly it was covered under warranty and bye.
Like Batman vs Superman, that car looked great, but had a lot of problems on the inside.
Going back to BVS and the whole Batman killing and his character. I understood what Zach was going for, between he's up there in experience. He lost his Robin, and then like being in Metropolis and like seeing obviously his tower, people he knew, obviously was on the phone. I think his name was Jack. Like couldn't save him. And then the little girl, like he's holding her, where's your parents? And he looks up and then the building's destroyed. I understand why. Obviously Batman does not like Superman, and now he feels like it's on him to be able to stop him. There is a switch, and it is the Martha scene. Anytime after that scene, even in the warehouse, unless you count the Ultimate Edition, where there's blood effects, he does not actually, I think, kill anyone.
That's not
purposely.
True. He guns down people while he's flying the jet.
Yeah, you didn't watch the movie.
And then
he cut a guy in half with a car.
And then he also
he's saying
after
I'm talking
yeah, he's
after.
saying after that.
Right. No. After that scene, when he goes to save Martha,
right.
The first thing he does is come in the jet and mow people down with the jet.
But do you see, I don't remember, like, I remember there's explosions, like you see the cars exploding, but like in the warehouse scene, he didn't like kill necessarily.
What about the guy with the grenade?
Or the guy with the flamethrower he blew
He
up.
shot the flamethrower, but the guy pulled the trigger. It's like, if you watch other Batman movies, like there's Batman Returns, where he puts a grenade in the hole.
Blow up.
What?
He's got a pilot light. Like, I mean, even if he just shot the tank, like, it's gonna blow up.
Right, but okay, so
and see, and that one is, I guess, I don't have, I guess, as much of a problem, is a weird way to say it, but like he was going to kill Martha, so that was like that's one of those ones I'm like.
And the grenade scene, he like kicks the grenade and like the guy falls on it. It's not like he threw a grenade and strapped it to the guy.
No, but he could have done another thing in which the grenade was not a problem.
And my thing is, we're talking about the world's maybe best martial artist,
sure,
Deathstroke and everything, like the world's best martial artist, one of the smartest men on earth. Like, he is one of the ultimate people, and he's just like, like Batman is supposed to find his way around those situations. But that's my
That's take. Also right. That's based on something that the movies didn't give us. All the movies gave us of Batman, and it's a joke. What's your superpower? I'm rich. By the way, was that Whedon?
No, that's a Snyder joke. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Oh, so really? You think that's a Snyder?
I think that's a Snyder joke.
We'll see on Friday.
It's not too. It's like dry enough to be a Snyder joke.
Exactly.
I think.
If it's not
there you go. There you go.
Snyder joke.
I guess just Batman killing in general. What's your opinion on like the '89? Because you can just watch like a YouTube like all the time Batman's killed in film, and it's like it crosses all the films or just collateral explosions he's caused, or like shooting in his plane. Like, it's happened before in film. And it's such one of those things, like, unless it's like pre-established in that show, like he doesn't kill, like I'm fine with it, unless he's like, pulling around shooting people in the head, like he does. And like, obviously he drives and like kills people early on, but I feel like that's during his broken period, where afterwards it's more like, if it's collateral, it's not like him purposely doing it.
See, you makes a. Okay. So I think, what you're saying, Brody, is you think he started killing after, like in this, like that was his first time killing? Is that what you think? Because I got the impression he's been killing for a while.
Yes, because like there's scenes of him and Alfred is like, you didn't used to be like this, essentially, like you've become crueler in your older age.
With the rage.
Like there's a lot of like in between of them, it's like, what are you doing, Bruce? Like this is like change, you haven't been like this. So I don't think he's really killed before the Superman thing. I have no evidence to back that up, but just from like interactions with Alfred,
he's like so easily does it is my only thing that makes
I just feel like he's gone. I think after Man of Steel, like he's mentally not there. He doesn't care. And then like I think after the Martha scene, which we could, if we want to talk about, we can talk about. But
can we talk about that just for one?
I feel like this, and then we'll see in Justice League, like he's trying to make amends. Like he realizes what he did was wrong, and he's like, I'm going to be a better person now. Now we'll see if that comes in fruition, but. If he'll probably start killing parademons. I'm not gonna lie, he'll probably kill parademons, but
he's gonna gun him down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he at least, like, again, he shot the tank and the guy pulled the trigger. He kicked a grenade. In the Ultimate Edition, when he throws a box and the guy's head blood spurts. Now I guess he did die, but like
he didn't make it.
He stabbed the guy in the shoulder and put him in the wall. Like he's punching people. Like there's no like neck snapping and shooting in the head. Like I think he tried not to kill people. But
again, he kills a lot of people.
Also, someone didn't care.
But also, if we take just Batman that we've been given, maybe this Batman kills people. Okay.
Right.
Okay,
There are
right? So
iterations
maybe
of
this
that
Batman
exist.
kills people. But also, like, you want to talk about turning good men cruel? He branded people so bad things would happen to them in jail.
That's new too. That
He's
did
a
happen.
psychopath. But point
But
being,
also
I can accept Batman's character as doing all of those things because kind of like you said, like he sees this like threat. So at least, even though it's not like classic Batman character, at least there's some understanding. Now it's weird to be thrown in the middle like that and see this guy like kind of going crazy. For me, Batman's character, and again, we kind of talked about Snyder's not big on character in general, but Batman's character, really it's just the killing thing. You go, okay, this Batman kills, okay, move past it. Superman's character, and I will ask, if Batman's just murdering people, what's his redeeming quality? I guess he's like trying to do the greater good. He's being an anti-hero or whatever. To me, the character of Superman is so much more like, I don't get it. Given what this guy gave us, I don't understand why I'm supposed to care about Superman. And like what you said about his chemistry with Amy Adams, that's how I feel about his chemistry with everyone in any of these movies. I don't understand why we're supposed to care about the character of either Clark Kent or Superman.
And that's why I was so forgiving about the fighting in Man of Steel and even him killing Zod in Man of Steel. I was very forgiving, and that was controversial at the time. I was forgiving because I was like, when has Superman ever fought like this at all? This is his first, like, all right, I got to fight Vegeta. Like this is going to be intense. And I've never fought to this level yet. I just learned how to fly. Like, there you go, dog. Like he didn't have control and he got into a situation and he killed the guy and seemed upset. And I remember Zack Snyder saying, well, maybe we'll address that in the next movie. And he addressed it by immediately within the first 30 minutes, having Superman push that guy first through several walls. And so I was like, oh, so Superman's he found peace by like, oh no, killing's cool. So, that's some of my issues with the character. And then again, like, can you just have him cry when you see a courtroom blow up? Like, can you show that this guy
Snyder's really stuck on this God complex with Superman.
He
always goes that route.
Well, and because I realized it like when Batman knocks him out for the final time, then is carrying him. The way he picks him up is so weird because he picks him up by the arm and does this thing. So basically, he has him sprawled out like Jesus. Like the way he picks him up is just to do the imagery of like, it's just like, all right, man, you're not being subtle anymore. We get the like. Yeah. It's not even an allegory anymore. You're literally just shoving it down our throats.
What is the God complex that you're talking about, Damon? Because like I understand the imagery of Jesus, like Scott Stapp here with his arms out, but like, what are you trying to say with that? What is the parallel I'm supposed to take from it? Because I'm not.
Well, what was the thing? I know someone posted in the Discord of like his thing is like the DC movies are gods becoming men, whereas Marvel is men becoming gods. Which I never thought about it that way. But
Snyder's obsessed with like God imagery, and like this whole movie was literally like whole Lexus thing, like devils don't come from hell beneath us, they come from the sky. And there's so much like
religious undertones.
When Superman comes down to save and the Day of the Dead parade, and everyone's like, it's
touching
like
him. Yeah.
So what is behind that I'm missing, or is it just like I think that's cool? Like, is it just Snyder kind of thinks that's cool?
Because I don't think he thinks the farm boy, like the Clark, the farm boy that grew up, like the ultimate, good golden boy. He's not into that. I don't think he's into that at all. He's into the fact that
Colton are not laughing at you. We're laughing at chat. I just want to make that clear. Kevin's, sorry. I continue. I didn't want you to think we were laughing at you.
Sorry. I'm just because Kevin said, ironically, I had to turn a lot of water into wine to make it through Justice League.
So no, I mean, Damon, I think, he definitely doesn't seem into that version of Superman at all.
Have you guys seen Superman and Lois?
I want to.
I want to so bad. I saw the first
really
trailer
good.
and I was like, oh man.
And like in the first 5 minutes, there's more Superman and like old school Superman in the first 5 minutes. And it's like a simple comment. It's so fast where like he's talking to a kid and then the kid's like, I like your suit. And it's like, thanks, my mom made it.
And that's Superman.
Yeah, that's not what Snyder's going for.
No,
that's not what's going for at all. Because, like, another thing that I tried to get Colton. I've tried to get Colton to watch it many times. Like one of my favorite shows of all time, and like I feel like the thing that got me into like nerd was Smallville. Like I love that show. Like I recently, like at the start of quarantine, like I rewatched it again. Like I love that show, and I love that like he's a good, like he is Superman and he is Clark Kent. Whereas what we get in Man of Steel it's a completely different thing.
It's gone.
And again, the fact that it's different to me, I'll accept different. Yeah, that's okay. You don't have to be my Batman and my Superman. My question is, I feel like what he's doing is he's depending on the fact that I already care about this character and then saying, well, never mind that. Here's this. But he's not giving me a reason to care about his character. So he's taking the reasons I cared about him, either one, Batman or Superman. He's casting those aside and going, hey, look at this. And then I'm going, okay, well, if you want to cast that aside, that's cool. But what have you, like, why should I care about what you're telling me? And this is just the way I feel. I know different people, and frankly, a reason might just be I like that style of filmmaking. I like these cool edits and stuff. I like that Batman's destroying some people's heads. If you like that, cool, that's fine. Sure. I just don't understand. Like, I don't like that, I guess. And I'm looking for why I should. Like, I'm looking for what I'm missing. And again, maybe it's just not for me, and that's okay.
Like, why are they called the Justice League? What are we talking about justice here? Also, I'm just serious, you know? Like, what is justice about this? I don't know what's going on yet.
Well, it's about saving the planet. You're right. It's not about justice. It should be like Planetary Defense Force is what it should be called.
But I don't think the Justice League should be the Watchmen. Watchmen served a very specific purpose, and that's not what Justice League's supposed to be. Watchmen's supposed to be in the face of that. So trying to make Justice League Watchmen is just, it's not right. You can film the same style, but the same energy, not correct. I was hopeful for a very long time, and who knows, this still could pan out if they restore the Snyderverse, that we were actually in the Injustice Earth 2 version. Like, this is the bad version of the Justice League. And guess what? We're going to break reality eventually, and we're going to get to bright and sunny day.
I saw like a finger from Broku.
Isn't that kind of what they're like, he's going towards for like the nightmare sequence?
Not from what I understand. From what I understand with the nightmare sequence and where this all leads is because they animated his idea for the Justice League Part 2 already. The one where parademons are ripping people in half, and everything's awful, everything's terrible. It's almost like Dark Knight's death metal with just, I don't know. And then at the end, it's just that Flash reverses it, and that's it. They just start back at base one. Nothing that I watched mattered because they just erase it all. It's the same thing as like, oh, it was all a dream. It's not the same as what I want, which is, listen, these are the bad guys, and over here are the good guys. Let me show you the real Justice League to take care of this problem. But yeah.
Yeah, because my problem, I forgot too, like the whole Flash scene in Batman vs Superman, it does the double fake out of like, you see Flash come and talk to him and tell him like Superman is the problem and all that. And then I forgot that he then wakes up
again. Yeah, there's like two.
There's like, it's like a very Inception type, like, okay.
Flash wakes him up and then he wakes up again.
Yeah, then the papers are flying around. So I'm like, okay, did that happen? But, you know, and I was going to say too, I know at the beginning we said, you know, Brody and Danny, you guys are the ones that are excited for Snyder Cut. I am also excited for this movie. Like I would love nothing more than for this movie to like be amazing, and like everything that like we've talked about is good. Like I don't want this. Yeah, I don't want this movie to be bad. No,
and I feel like there's no possible way. No way it can't at least be an improvement.
Oh yeah, there's
right.
Unless you're just saying it's 4 hours, and at 4 hours is like it's 2 more hours, and the other one's already insufferable enough. But I don't think what you see on screen will be worse than what we got.
I would go so far as to say this: simply because Snyder is cutting it and doing it, I am willing to bet you all of the action scenes will be better.
Oh,
every single action scene.
I don't think there's a second that he did cut now. Like, I think everything's in it.
My concern is again not being able to write Batman, because again I like the Nightcrawler, the Bat Crab. What are you doing? And I hope that's you get a little more or a little less.
My guess is like, what do you? I think it would be really hard to do Batman in like a Justice League movie, and like what is he going to do when you made Superman and Wonder Woman like this powerful, right? Like, I guess Snyder's excuse is, oh, let's put him in like a ship or the crab thing, or like
give him the Hellbat.
Like in BVS, like he didn't do anything in the Doomsday fight except pretty much just watching them go back and forth, and
Also,
he shot a grenade. And
I mean, there is a story where Bruce Wayne like wants to bring back Damian, and he goes to Apocalypse himself and fights Darkseid himself.
right.
Because you give him time. The whole thing is like if you give enough planning time to Batman, Batman's going to win. Like that's the argument with most heroes, unless you include Saitama these days.
Yeah,
and that's the thing too, is he's been planning. Like he's the one that's setting all of this up in Justice League, so he could have easily made a bat suit. Something. He knows what he's fighting.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll fight some parody him and stuff.
But just
have we ever gotten that Batman
to start
movie?
rifling? Yeah.
Like, if you really think about it, have we ever gotten that Batman in a movie?
No. We've never
That's why Colton's heart is broken. He has never gotten that Batman, and he so wished Ben Affleck. Because I think I really liked Ben Affleck casting. Yeah. I feel like you liked him, Colton, right?
Yeah, I did.
It's just you wanted him to be the one,
Christian Bale wasn't that either. Like
Christian Bale was dumb. Christian Bale was a dumb Batman. Me and Colton talk about this all the time, like the scene where where Lucius explained to him the toxin, and he's like, "Oh, am I supposed to understand that?" It's like, yes, you're the world's greatest detective. You are 100% supposed to understand that, and you should be telling him about it. Like, no, you should not just be, "Oh, I want to turn my head." Like, no, like what? Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I love Dark Knight. I love that movie, but just as far as like a Batman goes, no, I agree. We have not seen like a full Batman
with the Snyder Cut. Because I like Man of Steel and BVS a lot. Damon, sounds like you're more positive.
I love myself.
What do you guys like? There's going to be a lot of probably slow-mo action scenes.
That's why it's 4 hours.
Yeah,
actually 3 hours, but
same movie, just packed in with more.
I don't know how you guys feel about scores and music, so I'm sure there's going to be like the Wonder Woman theme is like so bombastic and crazy. Like there's probably going to be some he does like bombastic operatic stuff. Like there's definitely going to be Snyder parts in this movie. So like what makes you like optimistic that this will be good? If you like, so I guess not negative, but like if you weren't such a big fan of Man of Steel BVS, what are you like hoping this would be? Because it's still full Snyder.
I've seen Batman and Superman have positive interactions with each other that I assumed was Whedon. I hope that this Superman, once he kind of comes back, is a little bit more of a cool guy. I hope Batman, they go a little bit more about his, like go talk about his redemption a little more than just, what Chris said earlier. He ended 12 families, but after 50 minutes, he's redeemed. Like, I hope that some of the things I liked in the original cut of Justice League is still in, but, expanded on.
So I guess, I forgot what I was going to say. Someone else.
What I'm worried about is like, when zombie Superman's around, I'm worried about like citizens getting killed by Superman and things like that. I'm trepidatious about like, is this going to be, are we going to have some like gore for no reason kind of thing? But yeah,
I'm not sure gore is really Snyder's thing.
It's a big it's a big hypothetical question, but is there anything this movie can do to make you look back on Man of Steel and BVS? Because it sounds like these are like more of the prequels to lead into this movie. They'll change your mind. Like if they make Batman kind of like more like try to redeem him, like explain himself, if they give more context to these other movies and the events, is there any way to look back on those movies like I understood what he was going for and I can watch this and like it more now that Justice League is more of like the third act in this story? Because
I'm going to have a very hard time, regardless of his explanation, saying that that's Batman after he cut a man in half with a car.
I feel like the problems I have are so deep rooted, just like in, it's not like little stuff. It's like who those characters are at their core that I'm not like a huge fan of. So I don't know, short of halfway through this movie, we do some time travel and go back and erase those movies and like mess with some stuff. I feel like that's like kind of the biggest problem I have, is some stuff that I don't know you can change without going back and just changing some things about just who those characters are.
I'm really, I mean, Again,
I'd love to be wrong. I would love to like for this movie to change and like you said, for me to like look back at things that I like didn't like before and maybe like them. If it does that, please, because again, I love DC. I want this movie to be good, and I want to see more movies from them.
My problem is I don't know that I actually want more Snyderverse.
Oh no, I meant DC, not.
No, right. Which is why I'm excited for the Batman. I don't care. I don't know that I'm just not sold. And I mean, again, hopefully I'm wrong. I'm like, I will happily eat those words. If this movie ends up being great and he does help fix some things, cool. Again, the whole Batman with a gun, I'm just uncomfortable with it. Like, including the nightmare scene that he's going for. I do not care about Jared Leto Joker at all. I do not care about We Live in a Society.
It's more a Jesus thing, because there's like I don't know if anyone's seen the poster, but the wooden.
Yeah, the crown on his head.
I have no idea. I mean, we'll see it in 2 days or whatever, but I'm sure it'll be some allegory or some joke, like Joker doing something about it.
We live in a society, no longer in a society, Batman.
About the Snyderverse is I wonder, and you guys, definitely chime in here, but I think the WB, them trying to force so many things, them trying to really, we got to get to Avengers now. Like, we got to get to that level immediately. If they didn't because Man of Steel was good. Like, Man of Steel was, some people argue, but
I didn't hate Man of Steel.
No. Yeah, it's all solid film. But then, you look at what they start trying to include, like BVS. Like, they tried to accomplish a whole lot in a short time, to where an extended cut made it better. Just giving it a little bit more time to breathe and have character interactions.
My thing is I don't think so, only because stop taking 5 different comics and cramming them together with like this convoluted plot. I would rather see Death of Superman as its own movie.
Right. Yeah, but you don't get to have that. And the fact does remain that if you're going to try to do, because Snyder does that, and you're right, it would be better to not, what's every possible, it's like the Solo movie. What's everything you know about Han Solo? Did you know that all happened in this one weekend? It's like, that's kind of dumb. And not to get on that movie, but like, that's definitely what Snyder did. Give me everything I know about Superman. We're putting it all in one movie. And like, if you're going to do that, which you shouldn't do, but if you're going to do that, more time at least for that to breathe, or at least functionally make any sense at all, probably is a good way to go.
And like, that's where I go as far as like, please don't put Doomsday or Lex in like the BVS. I'd like to see the cut where Batman's just like, oh, so there's a monster alien that, killed a bunch of people that has me enraged.
Yeah.
And I've been out of business for a while. Let's expand on these 2 characters for an entire movie.
Colton, that sounds like a good movie, but then who kills Superman?
Don't kill him.
No. We have to do that Death of Superman though, Colton. Come on.
To bring him back in the next one? All right, nice.
Hey, do you guys remember at the end of Batman vs Superman when clearly the dirt was swirling on his coffin, like he was alive, and then
Remember when Batman was putting a team together twice?
Yeah. Remember when Lex Luthor made all of the logos for all of the
oh my god, that just as that's actually my least favorite part in the DCEU was some guy who worked for Luthor invented the Wonder Woman logo and the Flash logo.
It was Luthor himself. He was just on the boys. Boys. This guy's fast like a lightning bolt.
My least favorite is like how to get that footage of Aquaman and the Flash, and no one else has it.
And no one else has that.
Gas station camera and stuff.
Yeah, he was on what's that website? The Closed Circuit TV. You should never go to it. What's that one called? He was on that. Is the point?
Yeah. But no, I agree.
I actually really liked Lex in that movie. And I can explain why.
Yeah, go for it.
So
I gotta use the bathroom real quick.
It's probably a good time.
Yeah. Okay. No, you can go ahead.
my ideal Lex is obviously the Clancy Brown animated Justice League. Like that's who I think of Lex Luthor for sure. I watched this movie and like I immediately like, oh, they're going for like a Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk style like techie. We get a lot of backstory with his dad, and there's a couple lines that if you don't run if you're checked out at the movie at that point, like he was abused by his dad. There's one line when he's talking to Superman or Lois, so he's already traumatic, and when he gives that speech at his little party, and he's so awkward, like this guy's like a socially awkward has daddy issues, like he's abused, think of his parents and stuff, and like a superiority complex. And I just picture like Mark Zuckerberg in this role, or like Elon Musk, and he views Superman as like obviously the superior being, and he doesn't like that, and he wants to be the superior one, and thinks he's all intellectual, so he wants to like take him out. So I don't mind what they did with Lex. I think a lot of his plan was like pretty clever, and obviously that bullet wasn't caught, and they did all that. I mean, he probably would have gotten away with it, because he blocked all the checks going to, I think his name was Wally, the guy who got hurt with the cut off legs. Like he blocked because Bruce even wondered like why all these checks didn't get sent. So he's like down in the dumps, and he's the one, obviously he didn't know the bomb was even planted in the wheelchair. And Superman didn't see it because it was lit, and like I liked his whole plot. And pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Wait, are you saying Lex didn't know there was a bomb in the wheelchair?
No, Superman. Like when he was in the courthouse, he didn't see the bomb because the wheelchair was lead linen. Like, I think this movie, like Colin said, it was just Batman, Superman. I think you need someone behind the scenes pulling the strings, because I think eventually, like Batman or whoever is like, okay, he's not a bad person. Where like Lex is constantly like poking the bear, essentially, and like throwing like all these scenarios out.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
There's like the private militia he obviously hires to go kill all those people in Africa, knowing like Superman's going to come in and save Lois, because there's clear evidence like Lex obviously knows who these people are. That's why Batman obviously, or Bruce Wayne, gets the invite to the party, and also Clark Kent gets the invite, because Lex kind of like he's setting this whole thing up like he wants these two to like meet and interact and obviously like fight. In the end, he steals the kryptonite, kind of like knowing Batman is going to get it or wants to steal it, and he's setting this whole thing up for, obviously he thinks Batman's the one to kill him. I would have loved all that, and then like the end, Superman and Batman fight, and then like maybe Lex, because he has like super suits, and maybe got like some Kryptonian suit that made him a little stronger or something, or he just like, oh darn, my plan was ruined. But like I don't think Doomsday needed to be in, but I did like Lex's like behind the scenes strings pulling, and I think he needed like that in this movie if you're gonna like pit them against each other.
I definitely think Lex in a suit would have been a way better option than Doomsday.
Right.
And doing
so do you,
because hopefully that eliminates Death of Superman, because it didn't need to be.
Right.
Sure.
It did not.
Brody, do you view this Lex as kind of just like a real big loser with a chip on his shoulder?
Yes, I feel like his dad, because his dad even like built a company. He's like, he named it after me, his son. Like it's LexCorp. Like he is Lex Luthor, but like his dad built a company, named it after him. Like I feel like he's trying to like atone for like his father like being a jerk, and that's why I mean only this Lex will like peeing in a cup and giving it to the secretary is like funny.
Here's what I'd rather have though. Now listen, what I'm saying, like, because again, given Man of Steel, which was already set before they planned this, and then given the first scene of BVS, I feel like you have enough, and those characters are inherently oil and water enough. They almost always never initially get along. They have to figure each other out. We're like, oh wait, no, same team, good guys? I didn't realize you're a good guy. Oh, nice. And then they go together. I think if you develop their characters enough, you can do that. Save the Lex Luthor stuff for Man of Steel 2, which have Batman still in it, and have him have a similar plot, but instead of putting him against them, have him putting the world against them, because he's very much, Lex is always all up in politics. He's always all up in just controlling the world with his money, so he can play these games and make the courtroom scene and like, but do it so Superman's upset. But he can frame these guys to be horrible criminals and have the world go against them. And instead of splitting a team like in Civil War, it's just the world hates the Justice League. How does the Justice League handle that? I think that those are two more compelling stories than the thing we got.
Yeah, because also I still don't understand the reason they're fighting. I mean, like it's such a just weird convolute. Like you described it now as probably the best I've ever heard of like his plan, because the movie I feel like does not give me that very well, and they're fighting because reasons.
Batman wants to kill him because he feel like he can destroy the world at a whim, and he got the whole nightmare sequence. I think like everything just feels like his supposed hatred for him.
So no, I get that. I just don't feel like that's a good reason for him. I don't know. I just remember this. I hate that they're Gotham and Metropolis are
right
next to each other.
So dumb.
Such a weird.
And we never knew about that in Man of Steel.
Yeah, like Gotham's right there.
It's just very weird. What a strange decision.
And so
Of a lot of strangers.
I want to start getting into
yes.
Ooh, one last thing
agree.
to reiterate. On the they're on like the helicopter pad, and like Superman, like it's because his mom was at risk is the whole reason they did end up fighting. Like he wasn't going to go fight Batman, even though like the whole scene, I think it was just like intimidating when he like Batman's chasing after the thing and he bounces off and is like, next time you see your light in the sky, don't go to it. Consider this your last warning. So like he didn't want, like Superman doesn't want to fight, but like his Lois and mom thing is like he will fight and probably kill someone if need be. And when it comes to those two, which I still don't necessarily like, but that's the whole reason they.
But he could have explained it better to Batman.
Sure. I agree.
Engage. He's Superman.
I mean, he could have just hurry up and said it, so Batman just kept throwing like toys at him. But
yeah, just
they have to fight. You know, they have to fight.
They didn't have to fight. But I will say, Brett, I did.
You're correct, sir.
You could have gotten his face and said, "Hey, listen to me for one moment, please.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to hurt you. My mom is kidnapped. Can we talk about this for a minute?"
Right. And
Batman had the suit on, man. He had the scrap. He had a scrapping suit.
But he could have. I don't know.
He slapped him around a little. I was like, "All right, dude, this is enough. If I wanted to kill you," and then he got kryptonite, and then
Here's what's so maddening about that. The movie Batman versus Superman. First of all, the movie is titled Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. So we have a problem right there that's dumb.
Yes.
But let's move past that. Okay, so we know they're going to fight.
Yes.
Literally, the title of the movie is that Batman and Superman fight. So why don't we start there? What'd be a good reason for them to fight? Oops. We fumbled immediately. Like at its core? Yeah. Well, Batman's worried because Superman's like this super-powered thing. And he's like, this ain't good. And again, Colton was just talking the other day about how like watching the first scene. And I remember because, Colton and Steven didn't tell me what they thought about the movie before I saw it, even though they had already seen it.
Everything.
Which in retrospect, I appreciate more and more because Colton, you are incapable of doing that. So the fact that you did is outstanding. But like sitting there watching that first scene where he kind of reframed Man of Steel, because at the end of Man of Steel, I kind of liked Man of Steel, honestly. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't super care about Superman, but I'm like, this is interesting. But then at the end, when it goes Dragon Ball Z and they destroy the whole city, I'm just like, how? You know what? Never mind. I don't think I like this movie that much. And then Batman Superman comes out and it's like, oh, there's consequences for that? And the consequence, is Batman, oh my goodness, this city that I guess is right across the river from me is falling apart. So I better do something because I'm Batman. And you're like, oh, okay. Like, I kind of know Batman a little bit. Maybe he would go help people. And then you're like, okay. So, like, that's there. And that is there. It is present in the film. But then the whole Martha thing. And exactly, why don't you just talk? And so it's like they had that idea, but they couldn't. I don't know who they is. Maybe it's, what'd you say, Danny Trejo wrote this movie or something?
Danny Trejo wrote this movie. Hot up the set of Machete.
That was there, but they didn't bother to, okay, well, what would happen if those characters actually did that? And the answer is Superman would be like, yo, no, this. Oh,
right.
Never mind. And so it's like, it's not very... Go ahead.
Him just not saying Martha. Can you just say, like, save my mother?
Yeah, that's the one thing I wish they did. Just save my mom.
Yeah, and
not that
Kevin Smith, kill my mom, and it's something.
Kevin Smith put it the best way possible. That was the most Trivial Pursuit way ever to end a fight. Like, both of our mothers happen to be named Martha, and that's something like I knew, but it was one of those things like I never put two and both of their mothers are named Martha. Why would I ever think about that? But someone clearly at DC was like, both of them are Martha. What if this is how the fight ends?
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm fighting to the death with somebody, his mom can be named Mary. He's still not gonna make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing that turned you. You are so afraid of him destroying the world, but the fact that he said Martha is enough for you to go, oh, maybe he's okay. Also, why did he leave that kryptonite dagger just on the ground?
The spear?
Yeah, the spear. He just left it there. He didn't take it with him.
So, and now listen, out of all the things I hate in that movie, the Martha scene is on the list, but it's not that high. Which is, I know, like that is a hot take. Because I really like Batman Rest in Peace. That's kind of where he has his own subconscious takeover, and it's 100% Batman. the Batman of Zur-En-Aw. He's absolutely Looney Tunes, and I consider the Ben Affleck Batman absolutely Looney Tunes, and Martha being the trigger word to bring the humanity back to his soul. That's what my own brain did to that. But I'm not saying it was good writing at all, but that's like, I found peace with that pretty quickly just through my own understanding of, okay, maybe this Batman's just on heroin like the one in Batman Rest in Peace, but I don't know.
Snyder Cut.
Favorite
moment. Go ahead.
And this will lead into segue. My favorite moment in this movie, and it's like for 1 second, but it perfectly eclipses how I view Wonder Woman, is when they're fighting and like Doomsday like knocks her and she goes flying against the wall, and then she like hair flips and gives him the smirk. Like, I love the warrior side of Wonder Woman, and we got like 2 different Wonder Womans in 2 movies. I feel like in the Snyder Cut with the Amazons and stuff, we're gonna see more of like Wonder Woman's a problem. She's like this super awesome fighting warrior, and she's probably, I feel like, almost on par with Superman's strength, but I don't feel like we got that in the 2017 Justice League. I think she was toned down.
He headbutt her into,
yes,
like, someone name a layer of the earth.
Yeah. Whereas in Batman vs Superman, I feel like she was more powerful. Like, she was
like, she cut Doomsday's arm off.
Yeah, she was giving him the business.
And Wonder Woman 84, we'll talk about it, but
yeah, we can get that.
I haven't seen that movie, but I will say that Wonder Woman hands down was the best character other than Jimmy Olsen in Batman Superman.
I like Mercy.
R.I.P.
Mercy was at least they put her in.
Yes.
At least they didn't put a bullet through her head, or did they? I don't remember.
They blew her up. She was in the cover.
Well,
yeah. Do you think she was a robot, Brody?
No.
Really?
You don't think?
I wish. Like, I love Mercy in the Superman animated series, but she's gone.
I was really wondering, like, after the explosion happened, like, if she would be like a robot. I thought that would have been cool.
She's
a Terminator or something.
Yeah, because that would have been cool. Like, and that's why he let her be in the courtroom, because he knew, like, well, she's a robot.
Like, I know he didn't really care about her, but still, like, to let her just blow up, like, come on.
Right. You didn't need to just let her die.
So, all right, let's talk about Whedon Justice League.
Yep.
Yeah.
First of all, what percent do we think was Whedon? Because part of my fear I know it's a 4-hour movie. Part of my fear is, like, I'm going to feel like I've already seen this movie.
I think the character intros, when the Aquaman intro, the Flash intro, when he's in the lair, like, all the intros, I think were all Snyder. Where, I feel like the most of the fight scenes are all Snyder, with maybe some edits around. Like, specifically, I think of the when they first fight Superman when he's back on, like, I think his like monument memorial thing. I feel like that's definitely all Snyder, except there's like some jokes of, like, I don't know. This is the one joke I don't know, when like Superman grabs Batman's like, tell me, do you bleed? But I do believe, like, when he gets cast aside and he's like, Batman's like, oh, yep, something's definitely bleeding. And some of the, like, those outside jokes around the scenes, but I think all the fight scenes, there are probably more too, but like, are mainly already filmed from Snyder and probably just spoofed up and edited, and they're probably a little bit longer too.
Man, as long as the last third of the movie isn't bathed in reddish orange,
luckily,
great improvement.
It's just going to be gray.
It was so. I'd rather it be gray. It was so ugly.
I don't know how the last like third of the movie is. I think like that's the most we haven't seen, because the Russian family is not going to be there. So, like, what are we going to be seeing instead?
I don't want to watch it anymore.
So are you, like, Brody and Damon, are you, like, do you think you'll care about Steppenwolf or Darkseid?
Oh, for sure.
Because, like, my fear for Infinity War is, like, I currently don't care about Thanos. I like him. I know him in the comics. I know he's a guy, but they've done nothing to make me care. And if he's just a big purple bad guy, I'm not going to care. But they actually gave him some character and actually developed it some. Do you think these are just cool because he's got a mega beams and he's going to be there?
It's hard because I don't know how much Apocalypse stuff's going to be in this movie. And it's definitely setting up, obviously, he's going to be a big bad and more. So I don't know how much we're getting. I feel like they will name drop the anti-life equation, which I hope they do. And we'll probably see Darkseid do Omega beams or something cool. one, so I don't know how much you're actually going to get about that. I do believe we're going to get more Steppenwolf story in this one than we did in 2017. Now, if you care about it, if it makes you care anymore, I don't think so necessarily. I don't know if we'll like, oh, I care for Steppenwolf or I understand what he's doing. I feel like he's just still minion going around doing things. But we will get to see more of it, and then maybe it'll be explained a little bit more.
Because I mean, Darkseid,
they're going to flesh it out. I mean, I got a real feeling they're going to that. I mean, with 4 hours worth.
I was going to say, you got 4 hours. You better flesh it out, because honestly, in the Whedon whatever version, it's like he's here to get these boxes.
He got it pretty quick too. It was like, see, next scene. Nope, I got another one. Oh, I got another one.
So, and I know Darkseid is inherently intimidating, but I would never call him scary. Most of the time, he seems to be pretty calm and cool. And again, you can do different iterations. I'm saying, he typically has his arms just behind his back, and he's like, "What up? I'm gonna go and take out Earth." But the animated, the Justice League, it's one of the first of the new animations.
Oh, is that War?
War, yeah. Like that Darkseid is just kind of I'm a big gray man who floats forward and shoots omega beams and barely speaks. I hated it. You know what I mean? I would like them to develop it. But if they're just like, oh, that's Darkseid, and you're supposed to know that's grain and goodness, I'm going to name drop the anti-life equation, but not going to explain it at all. And like, show me Calabec. Like, I don't care about Calabec. I don't care about Steppenwolf. I don't care. Desaad's kind of cool, but
right.
There people are just going to be like, is that Ebony Maw? And
right.
Not that people know Ebony Maw's name, but
no, I think it goes back to the thing of like, when Marvel did it and they did Thanos, they earned it. Whereas this is just jumping straight to it. Because again, before this, I knew who Darkseid was. I would have known him way before I knew Thanos. But Marvel just did it better in setting it up and bringing it forth. Whereas this is just kind of, again, Justice League was the 5th movie, and you're already jumping to something that big that you didn't really build to or earn.
If there's a bad guy that is in Zack Snyder's wheelhouse, though, like you said, Colton, the whole kind of calm, cool, just crazy overpowered demeanor, that, for example, Lex Luthor, comics, super smart, maybe rivals Batman as far as his intelligence. I don't know how to deal with that. Let's make him this kind of loser nerd who's like, and then he can make a big monster. Well, if you have a big monster who is really I don't know. I feel like maybe that's actually something Snyder can work with.
I'm not saying he's not going to. I hope he does. I am worried he won't, if that makes sense. I was worried about Infinity War. Same thing.
The only worry I have about this movie is that it is so long. And the question is, again, I already said, I don't think there's any way it's worse than what we got. Like, I just can't see that happening. The only way that maybe that'll happen is if it's 4 hours long and just boring and none of it does anything. I kind of doubt that, but not 100%. I don't know. We'll see. Damon, what were you about to say earlier?
Oh, just that I think that they're going to do that he, just judging from the last extended cut, it seems to me like Snyder does shoot a lot of film. Right?
Oh, he said there's a 6-hour version of this movie.
Right. So I mean, I think his problem is he has trouble condensing. I honestly think let's say we got the original Snyder Justice League, I think it probably would suck because this 4-hour cut wouldn't exist. It'd be a 2.
It was going to be 2 parts, and
it would be broken. Right? Yeah. Well, let's say, yeah.
That was the original plan. Was like this was going to be like we're getting one movie, but this is going to be like they did the whole like shoot it all at once thing.
Right. And remember, they were already WB. Apparently, executives were having problems with that to begin with, where they weren't and they dropped it when they went with Whedon, right? I mean, they had already decided they weren't going to do that. But I think he shoots so much that we're going to have a pretty cohesive movie that's going to flesh out those things. I think he probably shot all of that. And just WB is like, we can't have a 4-hour movie. Like, what the hell? What is this? And, he had to trim all that stuff out, and Whedon dropped it all together. But when this drops, I just got a feeling we're going to be content.
I hope so. No, I mean, and he seems motivated. He seems into it and motivated, and that's great. Most of the time, though, like I'm very numb to Zack Snyder because I've watched a lot of his interviews, and most of them are rage-inducing. like people have asked him like, why does Batman kill? He's like, one time I watched a YouTube video showing all the other movies where Batman killed, and I thought I could do a little better.
What was his quote when asked about Jared Leto's Joker? It's like about the makeup. He's like, maybe he has makeup, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I don't care.
There's been some water under the bridge.
Yeah, there's been some water under the bridge. It's just like, wait.
Yeah, like, this is how I wanted to look.
I don't know.
He literally said, I don't know. Like, what do you mean you don't know? You made the movie.
And we're talking about, Nolan Batman. He was talking about Nolan Batman. He's like, yeah, no, I'd like forced unconsensual sex on Batman in my movies personally. And I'm like, what? Why though? Like, for what reason? And he just talks about like, I don't want to like show them as heroes. I want to tear them down. It's like, okay, if you want to,
But why?
I want to be able to share Batman with my children, but anyways.
As far as his motivation, it does seem like, because I read that big long article and I've also read several other things. And again, this has no bearing on the movie at all. You can make a terrible movie, you can make a great movie, and you can be a terrible person, be a great person. But it seems like the people who work with him really like Zack Snyder. Like, It seems like they're like, this dude is legit and he like cares, and so it's interesting, but there's that.
I think he seems like a
for
good
what
dude.
that's worth. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest change we're going to see is Ray Fisher's Cyborg. I think that's like the biggest
Which
thing
will be
he's
a
been, like,
welcome
pumping
change.
up is like, yes, like his character got so screwed over into 2017, and like I feel like he's going to be like the not main character, but because he is a mother box essentially, you're fused with technology, and that's a big part of the story. Like, he's going to play a huge part in this story, and I think emotionally too. And that's what I'm most looking forward to. A good cyborg and how he interprets cyborg.
I just hope he looks better.
He doesn't.
He looks
he
I
looks
doubt that.
really bad.
I doubt he'll look much better.
But I could really see that character being our in as it's about gods and demons and monsters. And Cyborg's this guy, he's a football player.
Yep.
So I could really see him being like the viewers into this whole thing. Will he go that route? I guess we'll see on Friday or whenever. But I could see that being really powerful as far as like, well, I'm sitting here going, why do I care about Superman? Why do I care about Batman? Well, sure, why does this guy? And maybe there'll be a reason. And maybe we'll get to experience it from his kind of new eyes. You know what I mean? That would be really great.
Awesome. That'd be awesome. I never thought about that. But yeah, if this is essentially a cyborg movie, like based around him and everything else that we saw is like going on around it, I'm going to like it more for sure. For sure.
Because he really does nothing in the movie. Like in Justice League, he's
kind of nobody did anything
Superman's
in Justice
grave.
League. Nothing happened in that movie.
Is that going to be in this?
The what?
The grave robbing scene?
Oh yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Because
I don't think Booyah will be in this. I think that was Whedon who put Booyah in this.
Oh, it definitely was, because he was pissed about it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Like you said, that's something I haven't really thought about, but I would be very happy if Cyborg is more of a main role and something that's good, not just relegated to iRobot. I do computers sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't like Ezra's Flash, and I feel like that's Snyder's direction for the Flash. So I don't think that's going to change much, but hopefully him fleshed out more. Obviously we get some more backstory of him, hopefully, since he's a new character, but I have a feeling like I just don't like his Flash right now.
Barry Allen is also supposed to be smart.
Can we talk about the goofy run that they did for Flash?
Yeah, his running is so bad.
His run is the goofiest.
I don't even remember it.
It's like a weird, like
his legs.
Someone imitated.
Running.
It's very much like he's awkward. Like even his run is like almost like he's like about to fall down. Like
he's wacky.
Like animation. Flash is like in here. Like
right now, he can't time travel. He learns to run, and then he can. He gets faster just from improved skill.
Just learning how to run
without falling over.
He doesn't get more speed. He just gets better at running.
It's bad.
Weird. I don't remember that, but also I've seen Justice League Original once, and that was enough.
Well, also I hope he's better too, because his character also in Justice League was kind of just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm here. Like,
I'm sure we'll get more.
Do you think the save one person scene? Do you think that was Whedon? That feels very Whedon to me. Like, just save one person.
I don't know.
I think we're going to be shocked with how much was Whedon.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited to see what was Whedon and what was not. I mean, because there's zero Whedon in this, like, so it'll be interesting to see what was and what wasn't.
I definitely think the lasso, Aquaman sitting on the lasso, that's a Whedon scene. I think
100%.
Oh, we're all gonna die. His mission's doomed, whatever. And I think it is Whedon. I can tell because Ben Affleck looked different and like shaved and stuff.
Yes, you can tell. You can tell in some of the because he.
It's his interaction with Wonder Woman when he called her out about like still holding on to Steve. I really like that scene. I'm like a huge fan of Justice League, the animated show, and I love like if we ever get more of these characters, I would love like a Batman Wonder Woman like team up in the same movie. I love their characters, like I ship them in the show. Like yeah, that's me. I got my favorite episode was that was it Cersei? Is that the DC villain? I know team up, but I don't think that's going to be in there, which I'm going to be sad about because I really liked when he called her out and like she like pushed him and like shoved him back and she got angry about that.
I just want to say, Drake just said, y'all putting a lot of faith in the dude who made Sucker Punch.
Yep.
Sucker Punch soundtrack.
That's another one. Style. If you just like go on YouTube and click on the Sucker Punch action scenes, that's just a straight edit. They're amazing. They're amazing. Like that's a horrible movie. Sucker Punch is a horrible movie, but the action is amazing.
And I made this analogy like early in the week, but like my thing is like I'm going to see a movie, you know, and it's like if I'm going to go see a cake, it can be beautifully decorated, you know, have the best fondant job you've ever seen, put the coolest stuff on there. But if I slice it open, pull it out, and it's doo-doo, is it a good cake? You know what I mean? And like that's my take on like some of those things. You know what I mean? I just don't. That doesn't for me sell a movie to me.
See, I like your analogy, but in my analogy, I don't like eat the doo-doo cake. I scrape off.
You just look at it,
the fondant, and I'm like, man, this is good.
No, yeah, you're right. You just look at it.
Yeah, I just I'm not gonna eat that.
I'm just gonna turn it so you can't see like the inside of it. You're just gonna see that top and the
You take a picture of the cake and you go home. You're like, yo, this thing looks good. All right.
And again, that's like
buttercream icing, dude. That buttercream icing.
If you can do, I'm almost like, I wish I could do that more. I think that's what I'm trying to take from all of this. And honestly, this has been productive for me because I realized like, I really thought I had like a big problem with Batman, like just, you know, being insane and murdering people left and right. But I don't actually care that much. If Batman kills in this, okay. Oh, he's going. But just give me some other reason to care. And I don't feel like Beavis did that. I don't feel like Justice League did that. Maybe it will.
No, there are at this point hundreds of iterations of Batman. That's the point now. Like my mother's Batman is Adam West. Great, enjoy it. Batman's for everyone in every kind of flavor. That's cool. My thing is just like I am craving the Batman I love in a film finally, which is why I'm hopeful again for the Batman.
Yeah,
but I just keep getting burned every time. I'm not buying the car this time. If they sell that,
has everyone seen the trailer for the new Batman or no?
Oh yeah.
I
don't want to spoil anything if they haven't.
Batman.
Yeah.
Like, what's your opinion? Because I'm pretty sure that kid's dead. Like he.
No, Batman
he like wails.
Batman.
No, yeah.
I don't know. He pummeled a little extra, and like if you're just saying to incapacitate, like pretty sure the first two knocked him out, and then like he was down, and then he went in for more. Like
nothing, a bag of ice on the eye you can't fix, you know.
Speaking of DC,
I'm super excited for the new one.
Do we know?
I get hush vibes from it, but
is this movie is this new Batman movie considered DCEU? Is Joker considered DCEU? We're having this conversation earlier.
Joker is not.
They do not consider Joker. Okay.
Joker's its own standalone thing, and the Batman is its own. Originally, it was going to be in the DCEU. It was going to be Ben Affleck, and it was going to be they were going to do like a Deathstroke movie, and it was Matt Reeves too, same guy. But once Ben Affleck was like, I'm done, they just kind of pivoted. And that was that era of DC where they started like, all right, cool, yeah, we'll do a Joker movie, we'll do the standalone movie, we'll do this. They started just greenlighting everything. Some stuff connected, some stuff did. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens now, especially if this movie does well. How they try to are they going to try to connect it to things? Are they going to use Flashpoint to bring in some stuff? It's going to be interesting to see kind of what they do.
How are you guys on Pattinson? Are you willing to give him a shot?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Robert Pattinson is an amazing actor. If anyone hasn't seen Tenet, go watch Tenet. He was great in that.
That won me over.
I think so. The whole Twilight thing, he just got roped into that by his agent when he was younger. I mean, that's literally, he talks about all the time. Like that's what happened. He didn't want to do it. His agent was like, no, you should do it. So he did it. But no,
he thinks those movies are stupid.
Yeah, no. So he's a really good actor. So I am very excited to see him as Batman. It's like, that's another one. Me and Colton have watched that trailer a few times when I've been over to his house. Like, I am excited for it. I mean, I know I've been burned before, but I'm willing to.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna have the same feelings if he just runs over somebody's head with a motorcycle and you see splatter. I'm gonna have the same feelings.
It is rated R, right? Is it rated R? Or do we know that?
I think
it's PG-13.
I think it's rated R. I don't think they'd make that rated R.
It's amazing to see.
I can't tell because the tone from the movie could go either way. Still,
Batman villains can be done in a rated R way, and I'm fine with as long as Batman,
I just don't see
follows the rules.
Big Daddy Warner Brothers letting them make an R-rated Batman movie.
It's amazing to see Batman. What, Damon?
In a crime scene. I was talking about the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean because
that detective Batman?
Because he's a detective.
You might actually get it for one.
I also can't think of his name. I love what's his face as Gordon.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, that's yes. I love him as Gordon.
Who is it? Oh, it's the dude from
Westworld.
Yeah. That is good casting. Also,
thank you.
Casting. Can we talk about casting? I think the casting was incredible in all of the Snyder movies. I don't know if that's his choice or not, but the casting I thought was spot on. Other than Mr. Eisenberg, I don't enjoy that.
No, as far as like the main protagonist, and I'll give you kind of get Ezra is a little, but I think that some of that could be the direction he was given. Most of them, I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I like Ben Affleck. I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Like I am okay with all of those.
Do you guys like Amber Heard?
I liked her fine in Aquaman.
I love Momoa and I love Aquaman. Well, I liked Aquaman the movie. I don't think he's leading man there yet. So, and them two as being like your main characters for that movie, it wasn't like as good as I thought it could be, especially when you have Ocean Master as Patrick Wilson. I thought he did a phenomenal job. Momoa, he did some like jokes and stuff that didn't land for me, and I still think he's a potentially great Aquaman. I'm hopeful, but and
the initial direction for that Aquaman, I would credit Snyder. I like that idea of that Aquaman. I really don't.
To make Aquaman not a joke, it's pretty cool.
That's cool. The thing about
Arthur Curry, I hear you talk to fish.
The thing about Aquaman for me is like I had a fine time. I just walked out of there feeling like I got kicked in the head. And it wasn't from what I partook in, like during the movie. I just feel like you
partook a lot of things during that movie.
I know. I felt like I watched 6 movies. Every time they like changed scenes, I was like, "This is a different movie," and that was kind of cool. But then all of a sudden, I just keep laughing. I often just, if I'm in a bad mood, I'll watch Black Manta's montage of making the suit and just laugh for a while because they start playing some corny music. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make a suit. I'm gonna make a suit," but the music's not serious at all, and it's just bizarre.
I checked out of that movie, and it took me a while to get back in. When Pitbull's version of Africa started playing, when they're like going over the desert, it was so bad.
I like also most of that movie is kind of fixing some things that I didn't like about the Zack Snyder, fixing his trident. His Quattro trident that he had, getting him like the original suit, and they did it well. Like I liked, for what they had to work with. I liked the new trident. I liked the suit. Like, who would have thought the orange and green suit would actually like look good and work? But it looked good and worked.
I liked Aquaman's dad, but
I like Jango Fett too.
Yeah,
I thought his mom was good. His dad was good.
No, and then what was it? And then the fight scene they had where they were on land fighting the Atlanteans. I mean, and look behind me. I felt like I was watching Power Rangers.
Oh, they looked like Power Rangers.
And I was so confused.
They look like better Power Rangers than the new Power Rangers.
I was more fascinated because it just like was one shot revolving around.
Yeah,
like,
it was
the two
cool
fights going on,
going
so,
up and like it was. You know, I was just, that movie was like, I didn't love it, but I did like, it was a good summer popcorn movie. Like it was a good, just like action, like, all
There's
right,
that phrase, popcorn movie. Aquaman was definitely a popcorn movie, no question.
It's the most I think a DC movie has felt like Marvel to me. Like is Aquaman.
Shazam.
I was gonna say that and Shazam were probably the two that were like,
those two for sure.
Well, and those are the two that probably look the least like a Zack Snyder film.
Wonder Woman didn't land that way for you guys, the original?
Wonder Woman I thought was incredible up until the ending, which is what Drake said earlier. Like I thought Wonder Woman was a very different feeling. It did not land like a Marvel movie. It seemed very serious. It didn't try to I liked it a lot.
Yes.
I think that was what the DC universe like should be, is like what that Wonder Woman
I agree. Wonder Woman did not feel overly Marvelistic to me. It felt kind of unique. Again, the end was trash.
Yeah, it was 2/3 of a good movie, and then they did the last third is the standard blockbuster dark CG fight that just
hopefully we'll just never see that again.
Oh, did you hear what Patty Jenkins originally had to end it because Warner Brothers made her change it to that?
I feel like I have heard this before, but no.
It's actually worse.
Oh,
I think Ares he's like a giant smoke monster cloud thing.
Oh, he's a cloud. You just watched me go.
Look this up. But they made her redo the ending to this, like the fight thing, like he's an actual physical thing. But I'm pretty sure it's like some like not literal smoke monster, but he was like not a physical
clouds are always fighting. A bad choice.
Did you somehow just make me
just watch me go?
Look this up after. I'm not lying. It's
I believe you.
I can't believe it was worse.
I can't believe you made me appreciate that ending a little more.
But it's better than fighting.
But it's better than what it could have been. Yeah.
This all came out when Wonder Woman 84 came out, and how people thought of that, and then all this drama between Warner Brothers and her came up, and that was one of the things I saw.
So this probably won't be in the Snyder Cut. But Brody, you asked earlier, I don't remember exactly what you asked, but it was something about your reaction to the initial Justice League and like, what did you like? And they used the characters' themes.
That's true.
Like Wonder Woman, we were pounded in the head with her theme. Okay, we get it. But like they used both Superman's like that's Superman's theme.
You talking about like the iconic themes?
Yeah, because my brother was telling me about this, like Danny Elfman, who wrote the Batman theme for the movie and the animated series. He did the movie. I guess he did the music for this, and he was like, "Yo, guys, like, why, what? These characters have extremely established themes. Why don't we use them?" Also, I happen to have wrote the Batman one, but it's Batman's theme. So like when they heard that ba, 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 I was like, oh my gosh, did they just do that? And given it's like gimmicky, I guess, because I didn't like the movie, and because they did, but I was like, I like if we're looking for something I liked in Joss Whedon's Justice League, I did like hearing those little musical themes.
You guys like the new themes? Like they gave the Man of Steel theme, like the da-na,
I could not,
like the Hans Zimmer, like I think it's like I actually think minus the Avengers theme, I couldn't tell you like any like character specific theme from Marvel, whereas like for better or worse, like Wonder Woman's theme when that plays, like yep, I know that's Wonder Woman.
Oh, it's Wonder Woman.
Man of Steel theme starts playing, I was like, oh yep, that's
see, I don't know that at all.
For the new movies.
I'll have to look it up.
It was played in PBS a couple times. I'm sure we play like rendition of this. Obviously the new Wonder Woman 84, her theme came back in a different way. I'm sure we'll get those themes, but there's no way because obviously that's Junkie XL who did BVS is doing this movie. So
I don't assume that they will be back.
And I might be wrong here. I don't think other than Captain America, any of the characters in Marvel do have themes.
That's why I was like, I don't know.
Cartoons that, Spider-Man, of course, which Spider-Man they stuck to.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Another one, like the Spider-Man theme, it's out there. That's what it is.
They used it, and they used it.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to use it because it will always be.
Besides the Avengers theme, do you guys like differentiate the scores between movies? Because it all sounds similar and the same to me.
They do.
Which is not a bad thing because, like, you're watching a Marvel movie. It's just like with these DC themes, like each one, like for me, I can tell, like, oh, that's their theme.
I do listen to the Endgame score often when I'm working, mostly because I've watched that movie probably so many times. I could tell you what's happening in the movie from listening to the score.
Right.
I can do the same
now
thing.
we're here, you know, like, okay. And I'm like, that's happening in the back of my brain, keeping this part of me happy while I'm just trucking away.
It's watching the movie without watching the movie. I can do that with Infinity War, Endgame, and also Episode 7. Like I can just put that on and like I can see the movie in my head while the soundtrack is.
But none of the characters have like crossed over. Like, oh, this is Iron Man. I'm upset when AC/DC played.
No,
in the
exactly.
beginning,
He doesn't
but
have a theme other than AC/DC and, you know, the I am Iron Man. Like that's
nothing crossovers from movie to movie. Oh, that's a
Captain America.
Captain America's did. Yeah.
Captain America.
And then the Avengers theme, but is that it?
Falcon Winter Soldier already.
Yeah, that's all I can really. Yeah, if I had to like hum one right now, those are the only ones I could probably. Yeah.
I mean, the only other thing they do is call back to songs sometimes, like the song of Captain America and Peggy dancing.
Right.
You know, they do a lot of things like call back music wise, but it's not a theme. But yeah, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So shall we come back here and do this some more after watching Snyder Cut?
Yeah. Do we want to talk about future stuff at all, or or
should we do that post Snyder since it's post potentially? I don't know. I mean, I'm fine to go for a little longer, but yeah.
I don't even know what future stuff means. What do we?
You might have been setting up. I have like a list of like the movies that they are definitely making and some movies that they might be making. We already came up with the idea with a couple of them to play a game of will they actually make this movie or not.
I don't know anything about any of this. So
okay, yeah. I mean, the only movies we didn't talk about that they've made, I guess, would be Shazam, Birds of Prey, and Wonder Woman. But I don't know that we need to spend too much time.
We'll wait for Josh to watch it, and we'll come back.
I haven't watched any of those.
Cool. So obviously, the next movie that's coming out is Zack Snyder's Justice League. The only other movie we get this year is The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Which is I thought I wrote down the word. It's a what was the word we found that one night, Josh? It's a standalone sequel.
A standalone sequel, I believe.
So it is a sequel. Yeah, it's a sequel in the universe, but you don't have to have watched the first one. So I mean, it's James Gunn. So
I trust Mr. Gunn.
I trust him way more.
I think it's going to be off the chains wacky.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, you got Peacemaker, and they're making a Peacemaker TV show.
I mean, they got Polka Dot Man. Like the people they picked for this movie, like it's gonna be out there.
Well, that's the thing about Suicide Squad. It's supposed to be bonkers. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah. It's.
Well, we were talking about this when we were watching, I think, WandaVision. The first movie, they shouldn't have been called Suicide Squad, like because that implied that they were going on a mission where like they wanted to go and they could die. They were being forced. Like it was like it should have been Murder Squad. Like
they're being. This is against their will.
That's literally not the definition of suicide. Like that's not.
I know that's how they do it in the comics, but
I know, but like it just. I don't know why. Like when I had like a glass like shattering moment of like, oh wait,
it's usually like to get time off your sentence or something.
Right. There's usually some sort of motivation.
Incentive, like
yeah. Other than we'll just kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Kevin.
They have the choice. Yeah.
What are we? Some kind of Justice League? Yeah, Kevin is insisting that we talk about Black Adam. Is that something that's happening?
It's on the list. It's on the list.
I know it's bad, but I love the rope guy in Suicide Squad.
Slipknot.
Oh yeah, Slipknot.
I love that they were like, "Hey, yo, this Slipknot. He's not. We're not going to give you his background. You'll guess why."
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. You could guess why. They needed to give him they didn't give him a little intro cut. They gave them all an intro cut. He didn't get one, and then he's like, "Hey guys, I'm here," and we're supposed. No, you're not a character. You didn't get a little intro cut.
No, really stupid, horrible writing. I'm saying it's hilarious how much they neglected the guy. He got the Waluigi treatment.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
a funny joke, but even that joke could have been better.
Yes, yeah.
So after the Suicide Squad this year, we get The Flash in 2022. That one's going to be interesting because it seems that they're filming that right now, or they're about to start filming. I know they just cast the mom. The dad's not coming back apparently because of a scheduling conflict, but so that's what kicks off for 2022.
I've seen more organized avalanches than the history of this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's had at least 3 or 4 directors come in and drop.
Who's is it? Muschietti still right now?
It is
the It guy.
I have it right here. It is Andy Muschietti.
Well, this one's really important. They have to get it right because this is the movie that's going to fix everything else.
Yeah, this could be the movie that brings all of it together.
I don't think this one's going to be good.
Really?
I have no faith in this movie at all.
It's one of the more difficult ones structurally to
Like,
make. Yeah.
You're bringing Michael Keaton back.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, also, again, it's the thing of like you're starting with Flashpoint. Like that's
Right.
starting. You're like you're not building this character at all. You're immediately doing something that's going to reset time. Like that's like movie number 3, not movie number 1.
Steven, we need to kill Superman now.
Well, and listen, here's how you write Flashpoint being a starting point for Flash. Like, oh, I just figured out my powers like pretty well. I realized I can go back in time. What's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to go get my mom. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's fair. So that's an easy thing to write for me. But it's what you do after is
yeah. So I think that's the movie they're going to use to do things, but we'll see. Also 2022 we get Aquaman 2. So
No way that comes out next year.
That's
It's scheduled, but yeah.
Also, it's weird if
game.
like it's also November 4th is the Flash and December 16th is
right.
Aquaman. So yeah, clearly that's
That is very weird. That's very weird.
Well, a lot of their movies are usually they're either like March or November. Like there's I think just the way that Warner Brothers time slots for those movies are. That's just like when they happen. But it's just it's a weird. I think that's a COVID thing. I'm sure that it'll probably get pushed to 2023.
I'll watch Aquaman 2 though. Hey, I'll even watch Wonder Woman 2, despite what everyone keeps telling me.
It's worth a watch, I think.
Pedro
Pascal.
I'm gonna watch.
I'm gonna watch all of these movies. Don't get me wrong. They have my money.
Is there anything?
To watch Wonder Woman 2 till like late April so I can like enjoy that with you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, sure.
Well,
I can wait as long as you want to watch that movie. Just based on what I've heard, I'm in no rush. I kind of wanted to watch it before this discussion, but I didn't.
That's okay. We ain't talking about that.
Yep, we ain't talking about that.
Yeah, and then the last two that are like actually scheduled are Shazam, Fury of the Gods, which is 2023, and then Kevin's request of Black Adam, which doesn't have a release date. I know they're like they're in pre-production because The Rock is getting
casting and stuff for sure.
Yeah, he's somehow getting more built, which I didn't think was possible. But that man continues to build muscle. Like his thighs, I don't understand.
Calories that guy has to put away.
Oh, he does. Like if you see it, like he eats like 10,000 calories a day. Like it's like ridiculous, like what he's doing.
Me too.
Well,
Dude, you get a chance. Look up his cheat day meal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all pancake. He always puts up like on Sundays he eats like sushi, but he eats like the entire like huge boat that you get for like a table of like 20. He eats that by himself, and then pancakes and like.
He gets his septic tank emptied out about once a month.
He pressure washes the back of that toilet constantly.
I am shocked that The Rock has a septic system and isn't on city sewer.
Hey, he's got a place in Charlottesville, and we can go find him one day.
I don't think we should do it.
I think we should.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, so those are the two, and yeah, Black Adam will be interesting because I guess that's going to be I don't know. I guess if they're making him kind of a good guy, like they're doing
Venom. They're making him Venom.
Anti-hero or whatever.
Anti-hero, like is what it seems like.
Yeah, I picture Venom. Like,
yeah,
sure, he's supposed to be bad, but for this purpose, he's going to be like the one you root for.
Which is weird.
Which I mean, listen, I'm around for a million years, so I'm kind of a nihilist now. I do what I want, y'all. I'm a god. Blah blah blah. Hey, a kid who's like genuinely a nice young kid could convert me. If you give me a good Black Adam story, fine. He's cool in the comics as just like another magic guy around who can kind of tussle with Superman for that reason, but otherwise, character wise, fine. Have some fun with him.
Sure.
Yeah, it's The Rock too. So
yeah, it'll just be cool just to see. So do we think Kevin Hart's gonna be in that movie?
I know a small cameo role. Yeah,
you're right.
For sure. For sure.
There's no way he's not. Weirdly, I watched Hobbs and Shaw not long ago, and when Kevin Hart showed up, I was like, all right, cool. All right, sure. All right, I guess that's just a package deal now. You get one, you get the other. So those are all the movies that are like, we know they are making. Then there's a list of a whole bunch.
They making any of that?
Well, so so we can go through the whole list, or I asterisk the ones that I think they are actually like might make. So it's up to you guys.
Can you help me out and go with the ones that people potentially are now recasted again for? Because isn't Ben Affleck potentially back for something?
I remember hearing about that. Yeah,
I think for the Flash, he's in it.
I think it was
but it's his last movie. Like he re-upped for like this one thing is what I heard.
Yeah, honestly, I think what I think it's going to depend on what happens on Thursday. I think it depends on what the crowd or like the general reaction is to the Snyder Cut, because I think he did not like that people hated those movies. I think
I've never seen a man more defeated in my life.
Yeah, he like all the sad Afflecks were just.
I mean, put it back in rehab. That's how bad it got. Like,
he talks about. I mean, he did it for his kids, and like he was trying to do something like I'm Batman, and then like he just got.
Can you imagine? You get cast as Batman, and you're like, oh, dude, and it's the real deal, and then that.
And he cares about the character Batman. He
has his own Batcave, right? Or his own.
That's gotta be hard.
He had one.
Yeah.
It's the house that Kevin Smith lives in now, currently, I think.
Has Mr. Affleck said anything about the Snyder Cut? Has he been like? Has he said a word about it?
He was one of the people that was like, "Yeah, like release it." Like he was.
I think the only one who hasn't talked much is Cavill.
I just meant like after now it's a thing. Has he been like, I think you guys are really going to enjoy this or anything like that?
Not a lot, not as much as like Ray Fisher and
probably
stuff.
Learned his
unspoken, but yeah.
Ray Fisher's a whole nother.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother. That's own podcast in itself.
But even like Momoa has been very outspoken about it. And,
I think all of the main cast has been like, no, like release a Snyder Cut. Like we're excited for this movie.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I don't really think anyone has been like negative about the movie itself. I mean, Ray Fisher has been pretty negative about his experience on about Whedon and all that, but but I think as far as like the movie goes, everyone is like excited and promoting it. But yeah, so would you guys prefer the whole list or just the ones that were actually going to happen? Probably.
What's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably going to happen. Yeah. All
right. So the first one is I didn't realize they were doing this. They're doing a spin-off movie called The Amazons, which is Patty Jenkins is attached.
Okay. You down for that?
Yeah. Jeff Johns apparently attached to write the story, which I'd be okay with. Like Jeff Johns, that man's made me cry multiple times.
He doesn't seem to know how to do.
I'm gonna give him one more chance because I think also, I mean, he came in, but also he came in at that interim weird time where like Zack Snyder was still trying to like make it his thing, and they brought in Johns. And then
but he's very involved in the Arrowverse, and a lot of that.
Is he? I thought that was all Berlanti.
He's gotten a lot of heat too from the whole Whedon 2 thing, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought he oversaw or did some of the Arrowverse. Very well could be wrong. So, anyways.
Yeah, I kind of thought they gave Berlanti like the full. I could be wrong too. I thought like Berlanti was over TV and Johns was over movies. I think that was one of the restructures that they did at one point after Justice League, I think. But either way,
potentially doing that.
Yeah, Batgirl is the other one that they're potentially doing. That was originally going to be a Whedon movie, but Whedon is no longer attached to it. And it sounds like there is talks of it becoming a HBO Max show, or like an HBO Max kind of like original movie, is what it seems like it's probably going to transition to as they're kind of trying to replace Whedon from it. That was last.
Doesn't have relations with Batman. I'm on board.
What do you mean?
Like not related,
physical relations?
Like
in that one Joker movie.
Killing joke, yeah.
Do you think it'll still happen because they have that Batwoman show going on? So you think they'll have a Batwoman show and a Batgirl?
Yeah, I'll see why not.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a Flash show and a Flash movie, so.
Right.
Well, they haven't had a Flash movie yet.
That's true. Well, they never will either.
Well, they have a Flash in that.
And they're never making Amazons, and they're never making Batgirl. What else aren't they making, Steven?
What were we going to say, Brody?
Because Ezra showed up in the Flash show.
Ezra did show up in the Flash show, and apparently the plan is for Grant Gustin to show up in the Flash movie as well. Yeah. So that could be interesting.
That guy's from Norfolk.
He is. My college roommate saw a play with him in it because he.
We should go see if we can find his house.
All right, let's do it. Let's go find.
I don't think we should do that.
Not doing that. Not doing that.
The next one, I didn't realize that they're making a Blue Beetle movie, which could be interesting.
Yeah, I like Blue Beetle a lot. Do you know which iteration? Are they going to do like the classic one, or
I think they're doing the Reyes version.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, 'cause I think at one point they talked about doing like a Booster Gold movie too, with like a buddy cop type movie, which is I think was one of the ones on here, but I don't know that. I think they're probably just doing Blue Beetle.
Booster
I
Gold
heard
movies are
that
Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds is going to be Booster Gold.
I'm sure.
Please.
Oh my god.
And also let him voice Skeets. Please. I'm on board 100%.
Yeah. I can't tell if you were joking or not, Josh, but I would be okay with it. After that is the Green Lantern Corps movie, which would have released this year, but got pushed back. The last I saw about that movie was also that it was going to be another one of those ones they were going to transition to an HBO Max show, which I think would be better anyway if you're doing Green Lantern Corps, because I think they're doing not just like Hal. I think they were talking about doing like
multiple, right? Yeah,
multiple.
Point. Yes.
Yeah. So I think I would honestly prefer that as an HBO Max show as opposed to a movie if you're going to do it.
Without CGI suits, right?
No, everything's CGI. Just that was the problem with the first one. There wasn't enough CGI. It's got to just be. It's an animated movie. Is what it is. Just all CGI. Yeah. I don't think this movie is actually going to happen, but I just the fan in me, the Nightwing movie. I don't think it's actually going to happen.
No, but you want it to so bad.
I would. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if I want it. I want it, but I don't know if I want it.
I was typing. What was that movie?
Nightwing.
Oh yeah.
I've heard. Yeah, it was Chris McKay, who I believe that's the Lego movie, correct? If I want to say. I remember when they said it was him. I was like, oh, like he makes funny. Like he
was that Lord and Miller who did?
Yeah, he did
Lego?
something though. What was I can't remember what Chris McKay did.
I thought the Lego movie was the same people who did Lego Batman who did Spider-Verse.
It is. So I'm thinking I can't remember who Chris McKay is. But I remember when I heard the casting, I was okay with it. Or not casting, but that he was doing
He is associated with the Lego movies.
Okay. The Lego Batman movie. He directed the Lego Batman movie.
Yes.
Okay. There we go. So I knew there was a reason. I was kind of okay with it. But yeah, so that might happen. And also, so Static Shock as of August 2020. That was one of the things that I didn't realize that got announced at the Fandom in August. So I'd be happy to see that. Supergirl is another one, and I think that one's actually going to happen because they just cast Supergirl for Flash, and they cast actually seemed like a good actress for it. There's that Untitled Spider-Man Superman movie that it still seems weird because they've attached J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I was just say, is that the Abrams producer directed or whatever they're doing?
Isn't it rumored that that's a black Superman?
It's a black Superman, but they're not recasting. Like it's still like it's still in the universe.
I think Earth 3 Superman is.
Is it confirmed that he's black, or is it just Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing it?
Just that Coates is writing it, and I think like
everything I read is like they want a black Superman,
but not like I guess like a soft reboot. Like it's still in the same universe, and Cavill still exists. Cavill's also I think
this is just a black
standalone sequel.
Yes, it's a standalone sequel. You don't have to have seen
another Kryptonian.
Yes.
Yeah, just like another.
If they do that, well, there was the second thing in the ship, right? That we never knew who that person was.
Yeah, so I mean, they could do it.
Maybe that person's mom will raise them, and instead of saying, "Who cares? Do whatever you want. You don't owe them anything." Maybe that person's mom will be like, "You have a lot of power. You should probably try to help people." Maybe I don't know.
Or don't do whatever you want. I don't know.
No, that's what Martha said. We don't need more of that.
I'm just going to give you all of the answers. You pick one. I don't.
Martha's burnt out.
Yeah, she was done. She was just.
They were taking her farm.
She was ready to get burnt to her crisp. Honestly, she was mad at Batman. She was like, "Man, it was almost over." Apparently, there's another weird spinoff called The Trench, which is supposed to be a spinoff of Aquaman.
Oh yeah,
that's another one. And then the last one I have is Wonder Woman 3, which
you missed one. Unless you did say, but Lego Batman 2.
Oh well, I only have DCEU movies.
Oh, I don't care. I'm talking DC movies because I love Lego Batman. That movie's delightful.
I love the first like half to 2/3, and the last third I don't like.
I've never
the Skybeam was a problem
coming out of a movie. I felt so happy after the movie. I went in there stressed, and I've never giggled for longer.
I love it.
I've never seen a crowd of people turn more on one person than when they all looked at Josh as he was hysterically laughing.
Yeah.
Because no one else was laughing at the lobster.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
And the guitar.
Yeah.
He takes out the guitar and just like, that's funny, man. Why is no one else laughing?
Oh.
Yes.
All right.
Hey, well, I got one last thing, one last prediction. It was related to Snyder Cut. It's all coming back. So we got Black Suit Superman, because but so does Superman turn evil at the end of this somehow? Mm-hmm. Does the Mother Box take him over or something?
No, he's just mean.
Well, I mean, if this does lead to the apocalypse, if it ends on a huge cliffhanger, and if the huge cliffhanger was in the trailer, I will not respect Zack Snyder. That's like even if the movie's good, that's stupid. But anyways, do you guys think Superman would be potentially evil by the end of this somehow?
I got a feeling he's going to be the Superman we wanted. He's gonna be reborn into the Superman that we know.
I've seen a lot of clips that show me that, but then how does the apocalypse happen with Superman being evil in BVS? And we're seeing clips of that too.
Unless that's just another dream sequence that he has.
Just a different dream in the same outfit.
He's having more, or it could be the same dream, just longer. I agree.
A lot more nightmare scenes.
It seems like it's supposed to lead into what was supposed to be Justice League 2, which Apocalypse takes over Earth and everything, which is the dream sequence with Batman. It's not a dream, it's actually a premonition, because he actually saw Flash because that happened. But did it happen because he woke up from it? But there were papers flying. Was it a dream or not? I still don't know.
Right.
Because it wasn't clear. Yeah. But if that dream is real and that Flash actually happened, then that implies that Superman turns evil, does it not?
Yeah, and that's building to. I mean, all those soldiers are Superman soldiers. So
in that timeline, I guess, right?
Which I mean, I guess they could do something with Desaad and the Mobius chair to convert them, but
I mean, if for some reason Lois dies, then he's definitely going to turn evil.
Or I mean, I don't know. At the end of the movie, a boom tomb opens and just Darkseid just grabs Soups and is like, I'm gonna borrow this.
I think the only thing I can think of was in BBS and Flash that Lois is the key. So something happens to Lois that makes because that's the big thing in Injustice. Where I was about to
say, do you think they're going to go the Injustice route and Joker kills?
So I definitely think something happens to Lois, and Darkseid's involved somehow. And I don't know.
A stray Omega Beam. That's a joke because there's no such thing. Anyways.
I don't know if he kills her, someone else kills her. I think the anti-life equation comes into play and Lois comes into play. That's my best bet on what happens and why Superman turns into evil dictator. Real quick, I want to say it before I get past it. Josh is correct. Jeff Johns did write Wonder Woman 1984, or was art writer. So I'm not excited for anything he does anymore. So
I don't think he can do movies. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like some of his books.
I can't wait to watch this movie. And I'm not talking about Snyder Cut. I'm talking about one. Actually, I'm interested in Snyder Cut. I feel like maybe Zack Snyder. The problem is, it seems like he needs to make TV shows, but they don't have big budget TV shows like that.
Well,
maybe he'll find a home on HBO.
I was about to say, it seems like, especially through the fact that this is episodic in chapters, it would have been better as a show than a 4-hour.
If it's 6 hours, maybe it should be a show and not a movie.
Which also the culture of film and media has changed now. That's much more of a possibility than it was in 2017.
Do you guys think it's possible if this does really well? Let's say this, home run for HBO Max.
Everybody loves it. Everyone's like, this is
maybe
the best
the Snyderverse exists on HBO Max as TV shows.
It'd be interesting. What Zack Snyder said, he's done, he's not making anymore. But also, I feel like if this does well, I think there's definitely a world where it could. And I think you could get some of the people like Ben Affleck and Ray Fisher, who said they won't do anything unless Zack Snyder is involved. Well, Ray Fisher said that. Ben Affleck didn't say that. But Ben Affleck is just done in general. But like, I think if this does well and the reception is good, I could see a world where they continue this as maybe like the Zack Snyder versus the HBO Max version, and like the movies are a different thing or something like that.
What other movie studios are going to open their door to Zack after, if you think like all the outcry for him to even make this and all that? I got a feeling he's going to have a hard time.
I think he's making a movie for Netflix currently, isn't he?
Army of the Dead, some new zombie movie.
Yeah, I think that's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because the whole thing when he left, because he had a first look deal with Warner Brothers, but when everything happened with Justice League, they voided out that contract. I think it was like a mutual thing, but still, I'm sure. I don't know if Netflix has signed him to a deal, but I'm sure they probably would love to. But I don't know that he's signed like a deal with anyone at the moment.
Gotcha.
Can we at least agree though, if the cliffhanger that the movie ends in was in the trailer, that was a
that's awful.
What do you think it is?
That.
What do you think the scene that Cliff ends on?
The apocalypse scene.
Oh, where we see Darkseid and stuff.
Where we see
Joker.
Darkseid and stuff. Where we see the Joker with his burnout lips and like all that stuff.
I think there's a decent chance. I think there's a decent chance that is the very end of the movie.
Oh, you mean the nightmare scene? No, I don't think that's the end of the movie.
I hope not.
Yeah, that'd be real dumb.
The dark side one, maybe when they're back on Apocalypse. But
if the cliffhanger was in the trailer, that's all I'm saying. Whatever it is, that is a poor choice to put in the trailer.
What did they did that in something? What was it? What was the movie where they showed the ending of the movie in the trailer? I think it was was it a superhero? I don't remember what I'm talking about.
Well, first of all, showing Doomsday in the third BVS trailer was bad.
Especially, they did it. It was like a week before the movie came out. Like there was no reason. Like you had made it that far.
We're all on board, dog. Like we were all on board, and now we're all like, oh no.
I think it goes back to the thing of Zack Snyder loves to make a trailer. Like
they needed to sell more cards.
It worked.
Yeah,
that's how they got you.
So it wasn't even a trailer. It's like exclusive clip, Mother Box. Did you guys watch this?
I haven't watched anything in a while.
So there's this video that pops up. It's like Zack Snyder's Justice League exclusive clip, Mother Box. And it's just a computer animation. It's like a 2.5 minute long computer animation of a mother box turning into the shape of the superheroes. And that's it. It wasn't a scene from the movie. It wasn't a clip from the movie. It wasn't a commercial for the movie. And I'm like, what? What did I just watch? What is this? What's this for? It's very weird. I'll post a link to it if I can find it. It was very strange.
That's how you get Evil Superman. A mother box just duplicates him. After Cyborg and him are trying to pull apart, just makes another Superman. That one flies off. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna make an army of humans with guns.
We get Bizarro.
Maybe Bizarro will be the Superman we've been waiting.
Oh gosh, that wouldn't surprise me because that's just another villain he can cram into this as if he does Bizarro.
If they do Bizarro as B0, I would love that. I love Bizarro and Forever Evil.
Yeah.
Forever Evil is my favorite Lex Luthor book, and it's centered around him. It's so cool.
Oh, it's Jeff Johns too. Bringing it back.
Yeah, it is. It is great.
He can write a comic book. He can write a good
cliffhanger for the 2017 was the Injustice, right? Where Deathstroke shows up on the ship. Do you think we'll get more Injustice, or do you think that was a Whedon thing?
Oh no, we're getting more. We're at least getting more Deathstroke.
Oh, he's in the nightmare scene, but do you think we'll have?
Is that right?
More trying to form the Injustice in Justice League.
Maybe
we'll see. But
I know he did an interview where he said he was supposed to be in that initial Matt Reeves.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the villain in the Batman. Well, and I also saw a weird quote from him. Was it John? I can never say his last name. The guy that plays Deathstroke, Hottie McHotterton from
or something like that.
Yeah, Magic Mike dude.
Magic Mike dude, yeah. That apparently he was like, as of like early, like I think it was this year or last year, like he was in talks with Zack Snyder for a project in the DCEU. So I don't know how. I think that was after. It was
like Gareth Evans was even supposed to maybe he was attached to do a Deathstroke movie for low budget, and Warner Bros. Said no.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that was on the list. Was Deathstroke? I just didn't talk about it because it seemed like it had been squashed.
Just to talk about the Bizarro thing real quick, just only because you know how he made Doomsday. Lex Luthor typically is obsessed with trying to clone Superman to make him his own or his own child. That's what Superboy was in help me out
Young
here.
Justice.
Young Justice, but Bizarro was clone B-0, and he came out half baked. and he was like, Bizarro, and that's what he's saying, B0 Bizarro, and all of his powers are like backwards. He has ice beams out of his eyes. He has got like flame breath. He's just completely a mess, but he's got like a really solid heart though. He like has that part of Superman. He ends up joining Red Hood's team for a bit. Anyways, just saying, they could do Bizarro in a good way.
I was really hoping instead of blow breath, he had like Kirby's power to just infinitely draw.
He just inhaled everything.
That would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Ooh, do we get blow breath in this version?
Oh.
Who knows? Maybe.
Because he throws Steppenwolf with in the
I totally forgot. I don't think so.
Breath.
I don't think we see it.
I feel like blow breath is not cool enough for Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
He can't
it's
do
one
it
of
in
his
slow
lane
motion.
powers.
Well,
Yeah.
he could blow someone like into a spike wall or something and impale
That's true.
them. Like
Right.
you can make Zack Snyder. He'll figure it out.
Into a wood chipper.
I think he's just gonna laser paradigms all over the place.
Why,
Oh, yeah.
why is there a wood chipper there?
Batman brought it.
He brought it. He brings his own wood chipper.
The back of the Nightcrawler, the bat crab.
Do you know how Batman set up like the spears, like it's going to be here because I know the fight's going to this point.
Wood chipper.
Superman does the same thing with the wood chipper. He's like, at some point we're going to be around here. I'm going to blow someone into that wood chipper.
We're going off the rails, and this is where I like it. This is where I would like to do a 6-hour stream eventually, just to see how obscure we can get. But now we should probably call it.
Yeah, I want some food.
But yeah, no, definitely we should once after Friday at some point we should reconvene.
Please. No, and I'm sure we'll chat just to talk about overall feelings, but I would like to save it for when we get back here because that's
Hey, before we jet, can people give out like a 1 to 10 guesstimate of your expectation, your pre-score?
my pre-score.
1 to 10,
Ooh.
and then we'll see how it ends up.
6.5.
I think you have to give a pre-score for Whedon's too, though.
I was going to say, what do we give? Yeah, because I feel
So
like
what I give Whedon is a 4. I give this potentially a 6.5.
Okay.
And then again, I really hope I'm wrong. I'm not trying to be a pessimist, but I feel like I've seen a lot of this already, which is going to also affect my viewing. Hopefully it doesn't.
which is what I've seen a lot of people like, even like in that thing you posted, Damon. A lot of people are saying like it seems like it's similar and it's just longer, and it's still better, but it's just like how much of it have we already seen as far as like the main story of this goes. I feel like we know the main crux of like what's going to happen, like the main beats, and it's just going to be the filler parts, which I think will make it better. But yeah, so I would agree with Colton as Justice League being a 4, and I'm going to be optimistic and give Snyder a 7.5. I'll give it a 0.5.
Okay. Who's next?
I gave Whedon's a 2. It was I can never watch that movie again after this. I'll give this one an 8. And that's probably what I give BBS too. Like I enjoy BBS a lot. And I hope I get a little less of some stuff, but like overall more of the same.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I'd give Whedon's a 5, and I think I'm going to go with your 8. I think that extra 2 hours worth of material is going to give it, 3 points.
There's definitely going to be more of it.
There is 100% going to be more.
So
of
we
it.
know that much. So that's a minimum. Yeah, I'd say I feel like I'm probably pretty closely lined up with Colton. I might give the original Justice League a 3. I don't really remember. I don't know. I didn't.
We were in Philly,
I wasn't crazy about it. And I mean, based on what I don't have a lot of faith. You have to understand. Like, I think it'll be a Zack Snyder movie. I think if you like Zack Snyder, again, like if you like Beavis, yeah, I would imagine you probably will like this. It's got to be. Again, it just has to be better than what we got. It has to.
How much better? What's your number,
right?
sir?
So 3. I'll up it maybe to about 6.5.
Okay.
And I feel like that's, again, same thing Colton said. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. If I'm being honest about expectations, I hope to be pleasantly surprised. Maybe an 8 is what I'm hoping for. Maybe it'll be a 10.
That's twice as good, bro. You just said it's twice as good as.
As a 3.
Fair.
You're right. From 3 to 6 would be twice as good. Well, no, I take it back. Then there's no possible way it's going to be twice as good. Then again, I really hated whatever.
Yeah, but you went from an F. Josh,
It was bad.
Also, Josh, when you think about it this way, you went from an F to still an F. So,
And that is my expectation, is from an F to a better F.
Okay.
I'm same thing, same feeling. That's exactly how I feel. I mean, and again, improving is great.
You know what?
If
Maybe
can
it'll be a D.
something better.
Maybe it'll be a D.
that's I give it a 7. I give it a 7.5. That's a D.
Yes.
Hey, Josh, will you edit in these scores? Is that possible?
7.5. That's a C.
Oh, it's a C.
Listen,
Yeah.
Cole,
Not-
it's
not
definitely
New Kent.
possible.
That's true.
All right. You can get some sticky notes right quick.
All right.
Oh.
That's it.
All right. Thanks, y'all. That was fun.
It was fun.
We'll
Glad you guys
see
made
how-
them.
We'll see how it goes on Friday.
Yeah.
Sorry for watching.
Sorry.
Sorry for watching. Please like and subscribe to watch it some more.